You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
What response did Meek Mill give?
Now, for me, if you don't know Meek Mill, you don't understand me. So niggas like, I don't fuck with that nigga, he a bitch ass nigga. No, I make sure I put a fence up so certain type of people can't even understand me or fuck with me. You'll never be able to understand me through a Twitter.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
The latest documentary didn't just spark speculation. It tore open a story hip-hop had buried beneath layers of fame, influence, and deliberate silence. For years, the link between Diddy and Meek Mill existed in a strange in-between space, visible to everyone, yet rarely questioned, public but tightly managed. Now, old footage, casual interactions, and industry moments are being re-examined with sharper eyes, turning what once looked ordinary into something unsettling. When power goes unchallenged for too long, the real issue is no longer what happened, but why no one asked sooner, and who benefited from the silence that kept everything hidden.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
For me, you already knew the type of nigga before you got here. Don't play. Relax.
Another rapper is doing his best to distance himself from Sean Diddy Combs after the music mogul was arrested and charged with racketeering and crimes. We're taking a closer look at...
When silence becomes a form of currency, 50 Cent has built his legacy on breaking it. His role in the documentary isn't neutral or accidental. It's strategic, intentional, and meant to disturb the comfort that secrecy relies on. He doesn't just appear, he intervenes, forcing hidden truths into the light and challenging the quiet that protected them for so long.
Meek Mills, well, he said a Philly rapper. You understand? And it was redacted in the paperwork to that because first of all, it had Meek Mills, it had Stevie J, they had redacted their names, and they had Usher, and they redacted their names and just said a performer of the Super Bowl and a Philly rapper. Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly.
Having moved through the industry without relying on its protection, 50 Cent speaks with the confidence of someone who walked away before the doors closed behind him. By choosing to speak now, he shifts the narrative from speculation to responsibility, forcing attention where it truly belongs, on those who stayed quiet while power operated without limits.
Anytime 2 rappers or 2 people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood whereas that he's dressing the same he dressing like Diddy, hugged up with Diddy. I think that Lil Rod know a lot of but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mill up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all the other shit, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all the other shit like that.
Oh, wow.
That shit crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioned about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
Meek Mill stands at the center of this story, not as someone being accused, but as a layered figure shaped by constant conflict with power, authority, and survival. His path, from the streets to courtrooms, and finally into executive spaces, reveals a career built under pressure, not privilege. The documentary suggests that proximity to influence did not bring protection, but responsibility, where success came tied to unspoken expectations, never written down, yet strictly enforced. In hip-hop, loyalty is often defined by silence, long after the applause fades away.
Life down, but it's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You got to have principles, you got to have morals, you got to keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he using drugs. He was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bruh. Then he started doing things to people, you understand, that he learned. That's a learned behavior, bruh. Now, I'm not saying that he may have been doing a couple of things here and there with women, stuff like that in New York, but the things that they're talking about that he was doing, bringing in prostitutes to have sex with his girl and all that stuff like that, that was some crazy stuff to me, man. So I'm just looking at this whole thing, man, and you had asked me, and we don't have these conversations like most people do. We gonna go back and you gonna tell me what, we gonna talk about this. You said, I'ma ask you how you feel, bro. I don't want no man to ever go to jail and be leaving their kids behind, be leaving their family behind. You understand? But some dudes belong in jail based on what they do and how they do it. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation, man, when they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bruh. And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that
Diddy's public image has long been carefully constructed, shaped through decades of branding, reinvention, and control over perception. Yet real power rarely leaves clear fingerprints. Instead of making direct accusations, the documentary focuses on repeating patterns, behavior, influence, subtle signals, and the quiet ways authority operates beyond the spotlight. His calm presence amid controversy feels less like confidence and more like familiarity with chaos, raising an unsettling question. Was turmoil merely around him, or was it quietly shaped by the reach of his influence?
that sounds strange. Because you as a man, if you know you ain't do nothing and you ain't got no problem with nothing and you sure with yourself, you don't give a what nobody else say. Why you gotta hire somebody that you want to make sure or prove to somebody else that you and Diddy didn't have a relationship when you know within yourself you didn't have a relationship with him? Tell him, give me that 100,000. I'll tell everybody, Meek Mill ain't do shit with Diddy. And make sure everybody know that. Don't make no sense as a man. They talked about Jesus Christ. What are you worrying about what they say about him?
Do you think maybe he just wants to know what the feds know about him?
The feds gonna let them know anyway. When Diddy gets discovery, if he lets this go to the point whereas that whatever the feds is charging him with, they have to give discovery. Now, they don't have to give and show everybody what's on those tapes. You understand what I'm saying? And those tapes could be locked up and sealed away for a very long time. But whatever they charge with, they're gonna give the defense team the discovery. And if it's seen that somebody is there doing something that appears to be illegal, and he's a part of that, it'll be in the discovery.
From what I understand, the feds are real tricky. It's not like the state where they let you know everything ahead of time. Like, a lot of this stuff you might not even know up until right before the trial starts.
They can't produce it still, bro. If in fact he's being charged with something, that's where you have your good lawyers tell the judge, nah, Your Honor, we didn't get that. You can't bring that in court like that. That's what you have good lawyers for.
One of the things that I think was, you know, I kind of just didn't understand it, but they're saying that Diddy is facing asset forfeiture. The government wants to seize the properties tied to racketeering, trafficking, and prostitution charges.
That's a good way of saying that what a black man has earned all these years for doing music, we want to take it away because he didn't get this from doing music, which is a lie. He got those things for doing music, selling alcohol, doing whatever he was doing. So now they want to put a crime on it and try to seize his property and seize his things that he has earned, which has nothing to do with what they trying to charge him with.
Yeah, it's literally nothing to do with what he's being charged with, which was what I thought was kind of crazy. But
The leaked audio didn't create the story, it confirmed it. What emerged wasn't a confession, but a voice that revealed hierarchy, pressure, and a private authority that clashed with years of carefully crafted public image. In a single moment, those recordings shifted perception, turning quiet rumors into serious examination. When words meant for closed doors reach the outside world, control begins to collapse, and reputations are forced to stand without the protection that once guarded them.
I think I told you about that. One time, him and somebody, him, Sarah, and this young girl flew from Atlanta, and they, and flying from Atlanta, we had this artist with us, right? And we were staying in the presidential suite at the hotel. And this particular artist and Puff, they told me, don't let nobody come in the room. So I said, all right, cool. So I propped my chair by the room door while they went in. So this artist's cousin knocked on the door. So I went to him and I let him in because I knew him, I see his face and everything. I seen his face several times before. He said, yo, I gotta speak to my cousin. And I said to him, I said, well, they busy right now, man, and they told me don't let nobody come in the room. He said, yo, I'm going in the room to get my cousin out. And I said, bruh, you ain't going in the room to get your cousin out. They told me nobody could go in the room. So he said, I don't care who you are, what you doing like that. I'm going to get my cousin. He went to go and try to open the room. I grabbed his ass, joked him up, and slammed him on the piano. And the next thing you know, Puff and this artist run out the room naked. And so then I said, I see the artist trying to grab a towel. Puff didn't give a shit. And the artist like, yo, what's wrong? What's going on? What's going on? He like, yo, G, that's my cousin. And I was like, yo, my man, he was trying to get in the room and y'all told me don't let nobody else come in, let nobody come in this room. Jesus Christ gonna have to come take the Puff. No, Jesus gonna have to take the air out my body if anybody coming in that room. And Puff just looked at the artist and the artist said, you ain't wanna come up in there? It was a lot of on. That was it. And I ain't telling you the artist's name.
Oh man. So you ain't gonna tell the artist name, yo?
You ain't wanna come up in there? Cause it was a lot of freaking shit going on.
Was it a rapper or a singer?
It was a rapper. A rapper that probably do a little singing too. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Industry veterans didn't respond with shock. They responded with recognition. For those inside the system, the revelations felt familiar, echoing stories that had circulated quietly for years, often dismissed as exaggeration or bitterness. Insiders began pointing to recurring patterns that had always existed but were never officially documented. Carefully built reputations can delay accountability, but they can't erase it forever. Eventually, every unexamined legacy resurfaces, demanding to be confronted.
My man, I can't judge Meek Mill as a man. I don't know Meek Mill as a person. You understand? And if he wants to say no Diddy, no homo, no this, no that, that's his choice. I know a lot of Phillies dudes and they strong out there, and some of my people are cool with Meek Mills. You understand? People. Some of my people are cool with Meek Mill's people. Meek Mills was a young guy, and Diddy was an influencer, and he may have influenced a lot of things that Meek Mills got caught up in the game in. Brother, I don't know Meek Mills as a man. You understand? I know some of his people through my people who knows his people. If Meek Mills want to say no Diddy, if Meek Mills want to say no homo, I don't have a problem with Meek Mill doing that. Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had. Dressing alike, being cozy, Puff calling him daddy, saying little innuendos to him. People are looking at that and saying Meek Mill is wrong for saying no Diddy. But you can't tell a man how to spend his money and how to make love to his wife or his Diddy. So, I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I just don't know.
Nah, I feel you, man. You know, I get it, man. I see where you're coming from. But I gotta ask you about this party, right, that Diddy threw for Meek Mill. You heard about how the owner, she came out saying that she found used condoms, lubricant, razor blades, powder, blood on the bed sheets. You heard about this?
No, what happened is that Diddy had rented a mansion out for Meek Mill's birthday party, and he had rented it for like $25,000. I remember we rented one of Cher's mansion out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the day he had fired his cook, but that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? It was me, Wolf, Mace, was Ock staying there? No, just me, Wolf, Mace, Puff, and there was one other person staying in the mansion. But anyway, long story short is that they came recently. This happened a long time ago, but they recently just made a statement that they found loads of cocaine. I wonder what they did with the cocaine, because they didn't turn it over to the police. They said they found loads of cocaine, razor blades. They said that the sheets were bloody, nasty. They found a whole lot of used condoms. And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday. I was like, yo, wow. They said it was disgusting the way that they left the place. So I know they got hit with another bill on top of that $25,000 and the different deposits they had to put down for cleanup and all this other stuff. It was crazy. It was one of the property managers, they had rented out a mansion. I heard about that whole story.
This story reaches far beyond any single artist, exposing the hidden mechanics of the industry itself. Behind every superstar exists a network of managers, investors, lawyers, and gatekeepers quietly shaping decisions and directing outcomes. The documentary implies that in hip-hop, protection isn't earned through loyalty. It's earned through usefulness. And when the system cracks, individuals absorb the consequences, while the structures that empowered them often remain untouched.
But then if you got the A-listers, you know, you got to realize he ran with that that Rat Pack, and I don't even say their names because they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner. What's the other guy? Leonardo. Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats, but I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him, and him doing some things with some other people. So it's quite a few tapes that might be out there, what they're hearing, and I don't want to see the tapes, but I want to know if they really true. Because if they got if they got some tapes out there and it's with some underage, whether it's celebrities or not, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be real crazy. And they're gonna have to bring that to forefront because the prosecutor's gonna want those tapes. And they're gonna do whatever they have to do legally to get those tapes. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. So we just better hope for his sake, that that's just a bunch of bull crap. But then there's lawyers out there saying, yeah, the tape does exist. Lawyers got on television to say the tapes exist. I don't really know or trust that, because they was trying to say he had a tape with one of the bodyguards and this lady that came out. So we don't know what to think until we actually see that, and we get that version. You remember we had that bootleg version of R. Kelly tape?
Yeah, I remember that.
They don't even bootleg. Yo, they don't even bootleg no more, man. So it's gonna be hard to figure it out if it does exist.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. And somebody that more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber?
This story reaches far beyond any single artist, exposing the hidden mechanics of the industry itself. Behind every superstar exists a network of managers, investors, lawyers, and gatekeepers quietly shaping decisions and directing outcomes. The documentary implies that in hip-hop, protection isn't earned through loyalty. It's earned through usefulness. And when the system cracks, individuals absorb the consequences, while the structures that empowered them often remain untouched.
You just don't just turn it in a matter of years the way he was doing people, man. You understand? Check this out, bro. He led Biggs to his death. He caused the rift between Wolf and BMF that led to Wolf death. Cussed Wolf mother out. Lied about owing him $300,000. Cause you had asked me how I feel, and I'm gonna get into how I feel. Took a good friend of ours who raised money when he had the City College tragedy. A good friend of ours did things to make him popular in Harlem. Let him hang with us, be part of our crew the whole 9 yards. Disrespected him and wouldn't help him. This is how I feel about him being locked up and going to jail. Some people, their karma is so strong for what they do and what they did. The stuff that he did to Craig Mack. You understand what I'm saying? The stuff that he did to Black Rob and all those people in the spiritual world right now.
What 50 Cent set in motion isn't a final judgment. It's a fracture running through alliances that were once carefully protected. The documentary doesn't deliver conclusions. It exposes tensions, contradictions, and silences that can no longer hold their shape. This isn't just conflict between artists. It's the slow unraveling of an industry narrative built on control and carefully crafted images. In hip-hop, truth rarely arrives quietly, and when it finally emerges, one question remains. Will accountability take root, Or will history simply repeat itself once again?